I'm 28 years old girl, married for 3 years. I never imagined my marriage would be anything but smooth sailing. Kevin and I were both in our late 20s when we got married, and everything felt like it was falling into place. We had been together for a few years before getting engaged, so by the time we walked down the aisle, I thought we knew everything about each other. At the beginning, it felt like we were partners in every sense of the word. We made decisions together, planned our future together, and lived like we were building something that could last forever. But it didn't take long for things to shift. From the very beginning of our marriage, I started noticing something that I thought was odd. Kevin's mom, Linda, was constantly in the picture. I'm not talking about a casual check-in here and there. No, Linda called him every single day. And I don't just mean quick chats. She would spend hours on the phone with him, telling him everything from how to keep the house clean to what he should be eating for lunch. I had no issue with him being close to his mom, but this felt different. At first, I tried to tell myself that it was normal for him to talk to his mom. After all, families are important, right? And I didn't want to seem controlling or insecure. So I kept quiet about it, assuming I'd just get used to it over time. But over the months, it started to wear on me. It wasn't just the daily phone calls, it was the unsolicited advice that came with them. Linda didn't just comment on Kevin's life, she had opinions about everything we did as a couple. The most obvious example was when we moved into our first home together. I had spent months planning how I wanted to decorate it. I had a vision, and I was excited to make it our space. Then Linda stepped in. She took one look at the house and told me that it wasn't up to standard. She didn't like the color of the walls, didn't like the furniture I'd chosen, and didn't like the way I arranged everything. She insisted on helping us redecorate, even though I had already spent time and money on it. I tried to explain that I had it covered, but she didn't take no for an answer. I was furious. This was supposed to be our home, not a project for her. Kevin, however, brushed it off. He told me I was overreacting. She's just being helpful, he said. She's only trying to make things better for us. I didn't understand how he couldn't see how disrespectful it was. Soon after that, the financial issues began. Linda started making suggestions about how we should spend our money. She was involved in a business venture, and she insisted that Kevin should invest in it. The problem? Kevin and I had already talked about our financial goals, and they didn't align with what Linda was pushing. I told Kevin how I felt, but his response was that Linda was just looking out for us. It was like she had become a third party in our marriage, always trying to insert herself into decisions that should have been between the two of us. As if that wasn't enough, Linda started criticizing everything I did. The way I cooked dinner, the way I dressed, the way I cleaned, nothing was ever good enough. At family gatherings, she'd comment on how I wasn't doing enough for Kevin. You should cook him a bigger meal, she'd say. Or he needs to eat healthier, you know? I tried to let it slide at first. I didn't want to escalate things, but it felt like she was picking apart my every move. Whenever I tried to talk to Kevin about it, he would just dismiss it. She's just worried about us, he'd say. You need to understand that she only wants what's best. And then came the vacation. Linda decided to plan a family trip without even asking me. I found out through Kevin that she'd already booked everything. I wasn't consulted about the dates, the destination, or anything else. When I expressed my frustration to Kevin, he told me I was being too sensitive and that I should be grateful that Linda was doing something nice for us. It felt like I was losing control over my own life. Linda's influence was everywhere. Things took a darker turn when Linda became possessive of Kevin. She would call him constantly, asking him where he was, what he was doing, and who he was with. I could feel the tension building between us, and it wasn't just me noticing. Kevin started getting defensive whenever I would question his relationship with his mom. It was as if he couldn't see how her behavior